We have Robert coming up right now, Robert Wood. So let's post Robert. Robert, let's post Robert, please.
Am I up?
You are up.
Can everybody see me?
We
If you
can.
can see me, wave and send me good energy and a big hug energy, and I'm hugging you back. And
love hugs. Yeah.
We're just happy to be here together. So my name is Robert Wood. I'll do a quick little introduction, and then we're going to be talking today one of my favorite subjects. I call it MMM, and that's the manifestation of mind miracles. How many of you believe in miracles? And the M is like a humming of the heart. So when we hum in our heart, there's a big like something's delicious. And so when you feel the right divine self-love and joy, there's a hum in your heart. You feel delicious and you feel yummy about yourself, and you're in a kind of a miracle-minded consciousness. I'm Robert Wood, and I've been teaching spiritual development for about 40 some years, many lifetimes. And through many lifetimes of teaching, I woke up to my spiritual path young, and I've been having the honor and the privilege of helping people know their soul, understand their spiritual nature, and help them understand some of the major principles that have to occur with being a creator. Our lives are very much kind of divided between the lower animalistic kind of energy of the lower animal human, and then our mind is also up in the clouds in the higher dimensions. This is the idea of the evil or too much trapped in the physical darkness of life, and then the higher mind is the love mind and the God mind and the higher thoughts that the spirit world thinks. We're all on a journey. We came into these physical bodies. We still all come into the lower mind of the human animalistic consciousness, and we're all learning how to evolve beyond that mind into the higher mind, which I call the miracle mind, the mind that kind of stands between the higher mind and your lower mind and helps navigate you. Some of you can call it your intuition. Some of it you can call your higher thought adjuster. Some spiritual people in Christianity call it the Holy Spirit. It's the Buddha energy, where you can understand what it takes to get your mind into higher thinking, higher vibration. It's a very interesting time today because humanity on a large scale, many of the veils are dropping, and many people are curious or interested in their spiritual path. Very few will do the real work to become highly spiritual, but certainly there's a tremendous interest in the spiritual life. And so this is because a lot of people are wanting to claim the powers and the abilities of the higher mind. And this is where you see humanity trying to wake up. And the first part of someone becoming spiritual is they realize that their thoughts create their reality. This actually started in the early 1900s and progressed in some of the materiality where Think and Grow Rich and how your thoughts create your reality and material prosperity became the dominant thoughts of manifestation, where you could think your reality and think and grow rich and become financially abundant. This is a wonderful concept for the beginner mind that's on a spiritual journey, because as you learn to be spiritual, you want to recognize you're in charge of the thoughts that you think. You're in charge of how you think the thoughts and what those thoughts do in effect to yourself and to those around you. And so a spiritual person first learns to gain control through meditation and inner practice. Meditation has been my most loved and desired experiences. When I first grew on my spiritual path, I came down to Florida here and sat on the beaches and meditated regularly to develop my inner power of connection with spirit. And throughout the rest of my life, I've been meditating anywhere from 2 to 6 hours a day. Some years I've meditated for 12 hours a day. This was my personal path of getting in touch, because I'm an old soul that loved to be in spiritual training. I love to be a Buddha soul. I was in India as a guru, so meditation was my path. And so I always tried to recommend to people to meditate. And the more you learn to meditate and practice meditation, the more your willpower is able to control your thoughts. And then as you learn to meditate correctly, your mind then can pick the thoughts it wants to think. You can pick lower thoughts, or you can think higher thoughts. The mind is able to live lower fear thoughts, or the mind is able to think higher dimensional thinking. And the mind that can set and observe itself is called the conscious mind, that sets in self-observation and learns to recognize which thoughts are which. The mind in the lower mind and the ego self can be very tricky. It can very much fool you and trick you to think that you're thinking higher thoughts, but it's basically just a judgmental thought. It's still based in separation, and it's still based in the idea of survival and specialness and self-glory. So as you develop a little, and that's what my talk is about, as you start getting out of kindergarten of thought manifestation, you start getting miracle-minded thinking, and then you start working on thoughts that are higher thoughts that are more involved in doing greater for the whole world. The whole world is a one great big gigantic self. It is the holy mind, the holy self, and it doesn't have any separation. It is always working for balance, and it's always helping souls evolve. The purpose of coming into the physical body and aligning your mind to the higher will of God is to help all lower souls evolve into higher beings. This is where I work with people, and if you come to my room later on, I will be happy to show you your aura, your energy field, and your purpose. And then you can feel, as you train your mind to be a higher mind, then you think higher thoughts, and then you do your life purpose, and then you're working for something greater than just your personal life, your specialness, and your personal challenges. We all have our share of karma, dark thoughts, negative energies that affect us. And a lot of our work is to work out of that, so then we can be involved in bigger causes and really help greater parts of humanity. Everyone signs up for a little bit of darkness, a little chunk of the dark mind to heal it. And then the more you heal your own personal issues, then you start working for the greater collective, and you start helping greater chunks of people. As I do my work, and of course, Sheri is a perfect example of this. She's working to put on these shows. She's trying to help humanity. She's helping a lot of other intuitives. She's a wonderful example of somebody who is doing greater cause and greater work in the world. And then this helps many, many other people get involved in their spiritual path. And then many, many other souls evolve other souls. And so spiritual evolution is not just personal interest. It's just not selfishness on how I can manifest what I want. That's one of the realizations that you start to do with higher miracle manifestations, is you quit thinking so much of the I, and you start thinking about the greater collective good. You start having dreams of maybe becoming an environmentalist and help change the planet. Maybe you start becoming more of a goddess and work for the creativity of other children. Maybe you become someone who is learning how to get out of corporate greed and work on higher ways that people can work together in the school systems, become a teacher. Maybe you have some interest in healing, so you become a healer and try to work on many levels of healing. And so as your soul advances and you start to have a miracle mindedness of thinking, then you start manifesting thoughts, and the whole universe, the higher intelligence in the universe, hires you, so to speak, and you go to work for the higher mind. They give you things to do, but you're working for greater causes. And then if you're working for them, I always like to say I was a good salesman, so God hired me. And now I'm selling people on believing in their spirit. And if you work for spirit, spirit provides and takes care of everything you need. This is the Christian concept of God as a father, or God is an energy source that provides for you and gives you everything that you need to succeed. And when you're a manifester and you also learn to tune into your goddess and your masculine self, when you learn to tune into those parts of yourself, then the goddess and the masculine work for you and help you succeed in all your life missions. Doesn't that sound fun? How many would like to be miracle-minded manifestors? And your manifestations of miracles are healing the planet, healing your family, healing your culture, healing your community, finding out who is your soul family, and of course, teaching and sharing higher vibrational thought. Higher vibrational thought can come through your auras and into your energy. It usually comes through your solar plex and your heart chakra. When your heart chakra and your solar plex is clean and pure, and you're thinking pure thoughts, then miracle impulses come through that vibration and causes you to love. And then when you are serving love thoughts and joy thoughts and light thoughts, spirit comes through to your being. Spirit comes into your life. So I think I'm supposed to talk for about 30 minutes, but I also want to give people time to ask questions if you like, or talk about your own personal journey. My journey has been a phenomenal journey, because when I woke up to my spiritual path, I decided a long time ago that I was going to teach, I was going to counsel, I was going to do spiritual soul helpfulness with people. And then I became a spiritual intuitive, because through my meditation, some of my spiritual gifts came through, and then I was spiritual intuitive. So now I do a lot of work with doing spiritual channeling for people and helping them see their higher purposes and higher soul reasons. So your spiritual gifts come through when you also learn to train your mind to be in a higher vibration and not a lower vibration. So always think of yourself as eliminating the I want. In fact, when many of you walk around and say, I want something, you're creating a very lower vibration. You're much better to say, I am desire, and that you know your desires, and then your desires become offerings to the higher mind. And then the higher mind takes your offerings, like if you offered a piece of fruit to somebody, the higher mind takes your desires, your thoughts, and turns them into manifestations. Then you see outer reflections of your thoughts coming back to meet you. As the higher mind comes back and greets you, you also receive, there's lots of receiving that happens. You start to receive spiritual gifts, spiritual abilities and talents that you didn't even know that you had. I was a real estate broker, and I didn't know I had any of my spiritual nature until I started meditation and started receiving and let myself become some of the spiritual gifts that Spirit was offering me, so that I could complete my life work, complete the work that I was come here to do. And I've been loving doing the work that I do. And the way the universe takes care of me and provides for me is so much better than I can do for myself. So when you learn to turn your will and your mind to your higher thinking and allow Spirit to work with you, you really don't have much worry. You don't take on false responsibility that you even have to pay your bills. This is a very fun thing that many people have a hard time understanding, because when you're raised by your parents or other people, you thought you had to be super responsible for your life, pay all your bills, and be a good human being. But part of the spiritual development and the miracle mindedness, you can leave a lot of that work to the spirit world, and Spirit will bring lots of things to you and lots of gifts to you and lots of people in your life that you can't do for yourself. That's one of the exciting things about learning to really, truly turn your mind to spirit world, and not to your own personal self, and not to your own fear-mindedness. When you concentrate more in the spirit world of love, Spirit starts doing all these things for you that you could not do for yourself. And then it becomes a circle, and then you start to have more trust because you watch miracles happen, and you have more trust in the spiritual world. And then you contemplate and think more of the spiritual world than you do about your struggling survival human little self. Now, okay, I've talked quite a bit, and does any of you that are listening, do anyone have any questions, or anyone have any thoughts they want to share with me? Please unmute yourself or jump in, and we can have a little bit more of a connection and talking with people. Anybody out there have a question about how to be more miracle minded? Okay, well, if there's not much questions or any thoughts coming through, then I'll just talk a little bit more, because I may be talking to the gigantic, huge universe out there. And I also like to hear myself talk. So I love to hear myself think. I love to hear my thoughts come through. A lot
How
of
do
my,
how do I become miracle minded in regards to health?
To health? Okay.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem that you think is that I can be healthy. And so that you have an idea that you're in charge of your health instead of turning your mind over to your body and let your body do what it was naturally meant to do, because your body carries all the wisdom inside of itself. All self-healing comes not from the I, it comes from the wisdom of the internal body. So what the problem is, you might have gotten too much into your emotions. You might have gotten too much into your lower minded. This is not for you to have any guilt or shame or self-criticism. It just means you have not fully embodied yourself, and you haven't got deep into your body and listened to your body and follow your inner body wisdom. If anybody has a health challenge, they are not letting the miracle intelligence of the body work for you. You're trying to think of what health means to you, or you're upset because you've had an healthy experience. Many times when the physical body gets out of health, it means that something is karmically passing through you. Some type of life issue is working out of your soul. So the problem was in your core, and now it worked into your emotions, then it worked through your mind, and now it's working out of your body. If you let it work on out of your body, it'll heal itself just like a storm coming through you, and your self-healing will correct itself because a dark karmic issue is coming out of you. So try to think of where the problem is in your body. Try to go beyond the physical body. Let your body do its own thing. You don't run to somebody else to fix it. Don't run to a bunch of therapists or healers to fix it. Let the body know its thing and go deeper into the chakra that's associated with that problem and look at what the core karmic issue was. It's your job to clear away and to purify all your dark thoughts. When your dark thoughts are no longer blocking your emotional self or your karmic self or your physical body, when purification comes from your dark thoughts, you have a miracle and you have an instant healing. But the purpose of life is not to heal the body. The body is just a temple and a tool. The body is to serve the spirit. If you're not healing your karmic pattern, then it doesn't matter how much your body is okay, because you're not healing your core issue. So go into your core issue, see what caused it, the problem and the cause and effect of your soul. I can help people do that. Clear that away and remove that block, and then just watch instantly the body will do its own thing and cause healing. That's the miracle that you can't do for yourself. You simply get out of your way and let the miracle happen. Your problem, though, usually when you think about it too much, is you don't know how to go to that dark issue and clear it out of your soul. No one has taught you or trained you how to go into that dark issue.
Thank you.
Did that help?
Yes, thank you.
Too much people are out there running around going to a doctor to try to get healthy, and too many people are not looking deeper into their soul and purifying their soul. Just trust the body, listen to the body, ground yourself deep into your root chakra and feel into your body and listen to it, and it'll tell you everything to do to reclaim the health you already have.
Yes.
Thank you. Good question. I love those good questions. Anyone else have a question of what you'd like to manifest or what miracle you'd like to experience? That was a great one on the physical level. Anyone else have a thought about miracles you'd like to ask about? You all got plenty of miracles. You don't need miracles, right?
Maybe like a moving, when it has to do with moving from, like, say, the United States to,
Well, that's an idea that part of you would like to move, and then the universe does not care where you live. It just cares about one thing, that you're here to serve, and that you know your purpose, and that you're really excited to do your life purpose. So if you're finding your life purpose and you're doing it, the universe does not care where you're doing it, because on an astral level, you're doing your purpose to the entire world, because when you send out a higher divine manifestation thought, it goes around the earth in 7.5 seconds. And if you extend yourself out to any particular area and claim it as yours to be, then you get to be there. And so all you have to do is listen to spirit, ask spirit what feels okay. Mostly spirit will tell you if there's something going to really harm you. You get a statement that says, do this. your spirit will just say, do this. It wants to tell you what to do to prevent you from going into a bad situation. So spirit does want to protect you, but it doesn't tell you don't do this. It just tells you to do this. So when you really listen to spirit, you're like a little child. And if you're needing some protection, it will always just say, do this. But it also wants you to be free and be responsible and do whatever you want. So unless it's going to harm you, if you want to live in Europe, you want to live in Thailand, if you want to live someplace else, and you get no reason why you can't, then just go prove you can do it.
Okay.
Prove
Thank
to
you.
yourself you can do anything that your higher mind does not say. It doesn't say don't, but it says do this instead.
Right. Because I got move, like I kept getting move for like the past 2 years, like move. And
Yes.
so I'm like, but where? Like I don't know exactly where.
Don't say where, say I'm moving, and just move to what makes you really, really happy. Always follow your joy. Always follow the higher thought is what would make you the joyous. I was reaching a point in my life where I was feeling complete with Boulder, and I said, I'm going to move. And then the joy in me said, okay, go back to Florida. So I came here to Florida, and it was joyous. Now I may live in Florida, but I am also going back to Colorado for a little while, and now I may go down to Arizona. I might even live in Costa Rica. I'm just open, and when I get an impulse to do something, it makes me feel joyous and happy and loving, then I just go do it. You're kind of a powerful person, so you just have to go move and do it and watch how it works out instead of trying to figure it out.
Right. I'm like, how am I gonna get this from there? And yeah, it's messing with me.
Go explore.
Get out of my way.
Realize you can have wings. You're like a bird flying. You get to fly. You don't have to be grounded. You're proving that you're not an insecure woman. Your womanhood is proving that you're secure and that you don't have to have somebody else take care of you, that the spirit world is taking care of you. You're always protected and take care of. You got a really wonderful person. I'm reading you now. You have a wonderful personality. I could put you in Alaska with $5 in your pocket and it would work out for you.
Thank you so much.
You have to prove how unlimited you are.
Okay, got it.
That's your miracle, that you can live everywhere and anywhere, and you're confident and secure in yourself, and that you don't rely on the old paradigms of women to be desperate for somebody to make them feel secure. That's your purpose.
I've always had that mentality because I've seen my mom and my sister. Yes. So actually, that's very important to me.
That's why you came in this world, to prove that.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Come back in my room and I'll tell you more. But that's right. Now you just received the miracle. You just experienced the miracle. Look at that joy in your face. Now you realize your purpose. Now you see yourself as really happy and you can do anything you set your mind to, and you know you're always secure and safe. Now just live your life every day proving that to yourself, and it'll all be fine. And you're not stuck in a house and stuck in limitation. You're a liberated woman. So many women getting so liberated today, and the miracle is that they're secure in themselves, and they're not secure in a man. They're not secure in a job. They're secure in their own inner thinking, and they're powerful, liberated women. And now they're not having to just get a job and be like a man. They get to do their own creativity. So the next liberation for all the women that are listening is for them to liberate your creative self, and don't just work to pay your bills and survive. Liberate yourself so you're a creator and you create your reality out of joy and not work to make a dollar bill and survive. That's a blessing to all the women out there. You're all liberated in a miracle consciousness, and you get to play in your creativity and join together with womanhood and create this better world we're meant to live in. And then the miracles are just going to pour into your soul, and you get to do what makes you really happy and not work to survive. Because that's the liberation. The next level of women is they're liberated, so they don't just have to pay the bills and survive. They get to do the creativity they were meant to do. So thanks for bringing in that miracle.
From limited to liberated, right?
Liberated women. That's what you are, Sheri. You're a liberated woman. You are already liberated and doing your life work and teaching. So now you're liberating all these other people with all the wonderful work you do.
Yep. So everybody, you can go from limited to liberated. We
See,
can,
I
we
And
can
the-
release the chains, the
And the
attachment.
path, you do it with his L with love. You do it with love. So your love, not your survival instinct, your love and your liberation and your, what was the other one? You live, right?
I live, love, and laugh.
You live love, you live love.
Yeah, I was doing that for a long time. It's funny because I came in when you were talking about physical limitations. When I was 25, I literally started feeling like I was 90 years old, and my body just kind of shut down. And what you were talking about, how you have to let your body. I remember not even knowing how to meditate at the time, but I had thought forms coming through telling me this was just going to be for a little while, that I was going to be brought up and out.
Yes.
And I was, and I was, and I am right now still speaking of being brought up and out. And so I was at that, I'm an independent working woman with like 2 kids, but I was like, really going at it too hard and kind of wore my body out. And plus probably with past life karma and all that stuff, like I really had to take like a deep dive. And
Thanks for liberating yourself. Thank you for
Yes.
liberating yourself. Yes.
And 2 years ago is when I literally, well, I called it, I twitched, but it literally felt like somebody picked my hand up and dropped it on my face and smacked me. And I woke up, and the first thoughts I had were, if God wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Get up, start healing yourself, go get your son and make the family you want, bring back your family, and, basically was start healing,
Wonderful
so, and that's
miracles,
what I
yes.
did.
Yes,
'Cause I was so
we all have
scared.
wonderful miracles to testimony of. Thank you. Yeah, we all have miracles to testify. And so
Yes.
think miracle thinking. It's not magical. It's not an outer fix. It's something that comes from within you, from the core center of your being. Find your chakras, find your center, find your inner will, and then let yourself receive. The key to life is receiving. To let yourself receive. Be women and receive, and let it come through you, and be still and quiet. Then your mind will not spin in lower thinking. Your mind is still and quiet, and then you receive the thoughts that God would have you think. I think I'm supposed to close at 5, right, Sheri?
Yes, sweetie, I'd like you to do a door prize.
Oh, I got to do a door prize. Okay, final thoughts. Everybody think together. I will think the thoughts that Spirit will have me think. I will
And-
quiet my mind and think the thoughts that Spirit would have me think. And now think of a number between 1 and 10.
No, 1 and 100,
1 and 100.
1 and 100,
I was gonna
and
make it easier.
no, we have more than 10 people here. How are you gonna do?
Okay,
Okay.
1 and 100.
You gotta do 1 and 100, plus you can follow Robert to his room for the next 30 minutes. And coming up next is Angela Ford, who's gonna be speaking on about what color is your rainbow, how to identify the main color in your aura. She is a psychic remote viewer. And this is going to be quite an awesome experience. And then also coming up in the playroom is Michelle Howell Clark on Huna Magic Meditation. So you got 2 options in entertainment in the next 30 minutes, as well as going to room number 2 to book your sessions with any readers and psychics for 5 minutes for free. And then you can book additional time with them. Okay, so everyone's putting their numbers in the chat. If anyone's listening right now on Facebook or YouTube, you need to be right here on Zoom. This is where the action is. It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/417 Zoom. That's all you need to do. Just type it in, bit.ly 417 Zoom, or go to sherikaplan.com/Healers Network Virtual Fair. Okay, so I'm going to do a countdown for 5 seconds. Everyone's going to put in the chat the number from 0 to 100 to have an awesome session with Robert. Man, he's going to take you to the next level. Now, here comes the numbers. Here they come. You want to have a session with him. I met Robert at an expo, and like he had all these great crystals and all these things on his table. And honestly, he really didn't need any of that stuff. That's just show. That's his show. He doesn't need that stuff, but he channels through that information, whether it's image, whether it's an elephant, whether it's an eyeball, whether it's a rock, a key. He's got a very interesting concept of how he does readings. You never do any of that on this, you never
What's
showed,
that?
you never showed your display, your crystals. I think it would be really cool for you to show your layouts of your crystals and your little,
Oh, yeah, when you come into my room, I go to my room, my special room, and I show it to him.
you do that.
Yeah, you
Oh.
come to my room, I can show them to him.
Oh God, you guys got to see what he's got going on in his room. This is how I met him. He's got such a beautiful display presentation. So go check him out. Okay, so Robert, I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to give us your number. You have it written down, right?
Yeah,
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What is your number?
40.
Can you hold it up?
40 is for completion.
Did you have it written down?
Yeah. But when it's on this piece of paper.
That's right.
Yeah, I can tear it off.
We just want to see it. They just didn't see it on the screen.
You see it?
Oh, no.
Oh. See the 40? 40.
Oh, there's a 40 in the middle of that. Okay, okay. He did a little channeling. Okay.
That's 40 in the middle of your soul.
40 in the middle of a channeling. Like, wow. Talk about light language. Okay. So let's see who's got that. We got a 39. We got a
40.
Tiana Green. Tiana Green is as close as we can get right now.
Okay.
Beautiful. Congratulations, Tiana. Make sure you put your email in the chat. Send it to either everyone or me privately. And you can always go to room number 2 and talk to Angela and see if that Robert can fit you in tonight on his time or not in the future.
Hey, thank you all. Happy manifestation. Everybody, manifestation.
And he'll be back at 7:30 in the playroom for more of
Oh my
Robert. Go
God.
visit, yeah, go check him out in room number 2 to have a book this session with him. Let's bring out Angela Ford next in the main room, and we have Michelle in the playroom starting.